Good morning, welcome to a morning review on Wednesday the 15th of April. This is Kim Watson speaking for Easy Trader. Okay, looking at the pound dollar first as it's up on the screens. And as you can see, yesterday ran into the 8 moving average upper bands here. Having a bit of a reaction to that at the moment, and we have retraced somewhat from that. But now here's the old quandary. We was in a reasonable downward trend at one stage again, and we still are effectively from a daily perspective. We haven't really managed. If we could break the monthly pivot and start pushing upwards, I'd be looking much more bullish. Although we could be on the cusp of changing the direction. The thing I'm looking at here is we've sort of put in this higher low sort of situation with the high put in here, so we sort of had a correction, so maybe an ABC. It's whether now we can push up, and this is a little bit of a bull flag at the moment. If that can push to the upside, well, we could be rallying. Of course, what I'm seeing here on the dailies is suggesting, well, we may just run into some more resistance and it may react off that a little bit more. But of course, this morning, as we roll through this morning, it may and probably by 8 o'clock we may see some sort of reaction to that. Now what we've got below us, there's possibly some more downside. I would like to see that daily pivot taken out at 147.27. If that was hit, that'd be good. I've drawn a trend line on here. It's such a thin market in terms of the trend line doesn't particularly bode too well, and it's probably a bit early to be drawing this on there, but I'll pop that at the moment. Possibly a break towards the upside, and maybe have to wait until we break that 200 would give us a shot up to the R1 sort of area and the prior highs that we've seen around that sort of region. So that may be a sort of target. We've got this sort of series of lows back here as well that was previous support, and we may run into being some resistance at some point. So that's what I'm really looking for. It's sort of tested once before, so, back here. It never really got much quite up there, but that may, on that basis, may give us a reasonable target if we do start breaking and running. Just got to watch it for the first while this morning. At the moment, as I say, I can't really take any break of this trend at the moment, with the daily pivot being so close to us. Has a reasonable draw, and it may just draw the price back down towards that, so just got to wait for a short while. Okay, so that's the pound. Let's have a look at the euro. These markets not moved too much, they're all flying around a little bit at the moment. So the euro, so yesterday it's put in a sort of a bullish pivot swing here, not got to the same sort of situation in terms of resistance, although ran into the 4-hourly 34 there, so it's just a lower point of resistance effectively. At the moment, again, it's the same situation what we've got here in terms of the low here and the high here. So we've well, broken the previous high that was still sitting in there, so it's it confirmed a higher low from where we're sitting at the moment. There is the potential that this could find some support and rally onwards back towards that weekly pivot and maybe beyond. Looking from a 60-minute point of view here, we're just sort of sitting on this. There's a trend line running up here, but clearer than the pound trend line. May just push up. That come 8 o'clock we'll make a decision on this. It's hit its daily pivot. I may look for the longs towards the, as I say, the weekly pivot that's above us untouched there, and today's R1 area. So looking at that as a possible target, providing it sets up this morning. I need to wait until after 8 o'clock, but at the moment that's the potential there if we are changing direction a little bit here. Okay, looking at dollar yen. Just checking whilst we have got the euro. I'm just talking about the euro there, and we have got the interest rate decision at 12:45, and then we've got Draghi speaking at 1:30, so that certainly could affect things there. Sorry, dollar yen I'm looking at now, not euro yen. Okay, so looking at what we got here, still in this sort of range here. Yesterday's comments from the Bank of Japan, or the Prime Minister, or minister, one of the ministers rather, did create some volatility through the markets there. It's now, well, just really putting a lower high in So we've sort of got this situation where we've put these high in here, and possibly another high in here as it's taking out each of the sets of lows. So at the moment we may see a run back down. There was a suggestion that 105 would be acceptable for the Bank of Japan, but then it was sort of knocked back that actually 120 would probably be better. So flying all over the place there, but certainly they probably won't be intervening whilst the market says it is. Now looking at where we are now, then we have, well, some trends going on. There's some trend line. Oops, get the right trend line here. Run across the tops here. See a bit of a bigger term trend there. If we see that broken, maybe we'll push to the upside. But at the moment, it seems, as I said, it's putting in the lower highs in, and this could roll over some more. If it does start going any sort of pace, well, maybe looking down towards the S1, but it's probably got the range in it for the day. We'll see how it rolls, but certainly the possibility there. So finally, the Aussie dollar, and oh, there we are. Once again, yesterday managed to break down, get pretty much close to the previous lows there, and move up. There's certainly a support area around this sort of 75, 500 sort of area, and we're seeing buying coming in every time it gets down there. If this goes, it's not certainly not as strong looking as what we've seen with the pound and the euro. So this is the weaker one, and if I'm looking at shorts, maybe I'll come back and look at the Aussie. But there is, as I say, there is quite a lot of support in terms of orders down at these levels, but the more they're tested, the more obviously they're being hit and taken away. So I'd be looking for the Aussie for the short side potentially. At the moment though, it's sitting in this sort of wedgy sort of pattern. It has effectively put a higher low in on this one here, so again it's sort of doing the same sort of thing. I just need it to get a bit further before I'm looking for longs, in which case I'll be looking for longs beyond this trend line here, and with targets back to the weekly pivot, the daily pivot there, and back into this sort of bunch of data prices back here. Really is a whole sort of region, and that sort of levels looking across there somewhere. So he's got all those sort of lots of highs and lows sort of sitting in there. That may be a range for it to get back into, back towards that monthly pivot, etc. So certainly a possibility. Okay, that's it for me. Only other news today is the Canadian Bank of Canada interest rate decision at 3 o'clock, and then the press conference at 4:15. That can create a bit. I mean, last time the interest rate was only about 20 pips, but if they make any changes, obviously, and maybe a bit more of a kick there. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.